Awesome. So thanks everybody for coming. I know it's a Wednesday night and it's a bit of an awkward time for you guys, but I really appreciate it. How many have we got here from New Zealand? Yeah? Most of you guys. Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to jump on. We're going to be, it's telling me my internet's unstable. So if I cut out, Jessie, can you let me know? You're in charge of it. The joys of technology, hey? So we're going to be launching the beautiful girls tonight. We've got Jess and Louise who are both launching, which is pretty exciting. I know they're feeling a little bit nervous and it's a little bit outside of their comfort zone. Jess is really excited to chat, I think. She's pretty keen to get rolling. But we just wanted to thank you guys for your support. It's weird downloading an app and jumping on, but kudos to you girls for giving it a go. So you guys may have known that they're starting a new journey with Juice Plus. So I don't know if you've heard of it or you haven't. When I first came across it, to be honest, I was a massive skeptic and I didn't probably look as deep as I should. So what I do now for my team is create an event that kind of gives their business a little bit of a backbone. It shows you guys what it is that they're doing, not necessarily so that you guys have to jump on the train with them, but that you can support them on their journey and kind of help people understand what it is that they're doing and how they're trying to help people by doing that business. Okay, so we use products called Juice Plus. Got some here. Now these are the capsule versions. So if you've been following their journey, you may have seen them post, you may have seen them at their house or something like that. But they're basically fruits, veggies, and berries grown naturally. So grown on a vine, no chemicals, no pesticides, no herbicides, completely the way nature's intended. They ripen them, they pulp them into juice, and they freeze dry it and put it into capsules. Now, what's really cool about that is that they're actually live. So they've done multiple studies on them, actually 35 plus studies over the 30 years that they've been around. And it does prove that these guys are live. They're full of phytochemicals and the nutrients that we're supposed to be getting in our body every day by eating, the recommended 10 plus serves of fruit and veggies, which nobody is pretty much getting. If you know somebody that's getting them, they must be a trooper, because I know I try really hard. And I'm probably set to maybe get 3 to 4 serves a day. My kids, God, if I can try and force it on their plate, they might get 1 or 2 serves. But, by having these in our diet, I know that we're kind of bridging that gap. So we're not replacing anything, but we're just adding more of those phytochemicals and nutrients into our body. So these little guys, if you turn them over, and this is what really sold me. At first I was like, sweet, they come in a canister. I don't, supplement. It kind of looks like that. But when you turn it over, it actually has a food label, which is really cool. So it's specifically food. And it's backed by the TGA, which is approved in both Australia and New Zealand, which is really cool, as a food medicinal product. Now, there's not many things out there that doctors will actually recommend can help your body if it's not artificial. So the fact that this is natural and backed by MedLink and the TGA, it's something really cool. So something that has a lot of quality inside it, a lot of money that's gone into research, a lot of money that's gone into the fact that it's really top quality produce. And it's really good for your body, because if we can read it and we can understand its food, our body knows what to do with it. Like some multivitamins that you get are abstract, they're made in a lab, they're synthetic. Yes, they may be vitamin C, but our body doesn't recognize it because it's synthetic. So most of the time it just pees it out, and it's really expensive waste of money. These guys, because they're food, your body recognizes it as food and digests it within 3 to 5 minutes. So that's what I really loved. I knew that, it's actually going where it should be. And because everyone's body is different, we have what we call a healing hierarchy. So these nutrients flood to wherever they should in our body, to kind of help whatever ailment or whatever it is that you guys are kind of, wanting to use them for. So we have people use them for weight loss, skin problems, eczema, asthma, arthritis, inflammation, all sorts of things. I could list them on and on. The girls could add you to some testimonial pages if you like, but it's a global product that helps so many people. And when you think about it, the food that we eat these days is so far from what our body is designed to have inside it. There really is no surprise that we're seeing such a rapid epidemic of health issues. Like if you think about it, how many people do you know at the moment who are suffering from a digestion issue? How many people have a skin issue? How many people have a mental illness? You know, there's so many different kinds of things happening out there that really could just be due to the lack of nutrients inside of our diet. Products like this make sense because they're easy, they're backed, and they're really quite affordable when you break it down and look at what you're getting inside them. Cool? So that's pretty much the adult products. We have the similar ones. So again, they're whole food. They're made from just pure fruits and veggies, and they're actually in a chewable form. So these ones don't come in a capsule. They actually keep the fruit juice and the veggie juice inside these ones to keep them quite sweet, and they mix it with a natural tapioca in order to make it a little bit chewy. They actually taste really good, surprisingly. I know it's like, if you read the back of these ones, it's carrot, cabbage, kale, broccoli, beetroot, tomato, parsley, spinach, and that's for kids. So if you think about giving your kids some of those every day and knowing that they're getting that goodness every day, again, it's a whole food. It's not a supplement. It's not made in a lab. It's literally whole food. So you are giving your kids this kind of food every day. You know it's bridging that gap they're not quite receiving typically from being a kid. You know, have we got any mums on here who has kids that kind of understands where I'm at? It's hard. Yeah, it's really hard to get them to eat food. And you don't want to resort to like bribes, quite often do, you know, and it's like you can't have your dessert if you don't eat your dinner, but then you're still giving them, you know, the copious amounts of sugar and dessert and things like this. So this is such an easy and quick way to get goodness into their body. Now, the cool part about these is that they actually come free of charge. So they come free with any adult order. To me, that just showed that the company is awesome. It's got a really good heart. It's willing to actually fix the problem of our lifestyle right at that base generation. Because, I mean, those kids are the ones who are going to grow up and they need to know different than we did. Quite often, you know, you'd come home from school, you'd eat chips, you'd eat probably a white bread sandwich, and you'd just fill your body full of stuff, but not quite nutritionally dense things. So the company Juice Plus is really trying to clear that generation of that behavior and start to get them understanding the power of whole foods. What I like about these, and what I completely didn't believe until I had to try it myself, is that we have this thing called like attracts like. So whatever you're doing, you're going to attract more of that. So because the kids are filling their bodies full of nutritional value every day just by simply taking these, like we said, they're probably breaking down between 20 to 30 different fruits, veggies, and berries just by having these. Their body starts to crave it at a cellular level. So they start to crave better food because their cells are working better. So they start to pick up healthier choices. They start to eat fruits and veggies more without you pushing them. So for me, that was really cool because I have a 5.5-year-old. We started 12 months ago. And at that stage, I couldn't get her to eat anything. She'd eat white potato and corn, and that was it. And it would drive me nuts because I knew that as a mum, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to. You know, we're supposed to lead them into healthy food lifestyles, but it wasn't happening. Now, it wasn't a quick fix with her, but to look at what she used to eat then to what she eats now is crazy. Like, she will eat broccoli, peas, spinach. She eats baby spinach out of the bag, which is nuts because anything green would have always been thrown off her plate. I remember pretty much about 6 weeks into the program, she asked me if she could take carrot in her lunchbox to kindy, which was nuts because I don't even eat carrot, let alone her to eat carrot. But it was just something that she'd seen in the fridge and kind of asked if she could take. So it really started to change her palate. I'd say she started to want better food, which was cool for me. I felt better, and it's what really makes me passionate about sharing it with mums because it's such a simple and easy thing to do. The red ones, the fruit ones, actually taste just like lollies. Like, they're so sweet that they taste just like lollies. They're no different. The veggie ones, they're a little bit different. They have a little bit more of a taste to them. They're a little bit more like, kind of like a bit like black licorice is my take on it. But surprisingly, over time, my girls actually prefer these ones now than these ones because they're not as sweet. So definitely worth a shot. And like I said, you get them for free with your products anyway. Now, the only other thing that we do have, we don't come with massive catalogs or anything crazy. We literally have 2 products. So we have the capsules and the shakes. Now, for the capsules, like I said, they work on a cellular level. So that's the nutrients of the fruit and the veggies really getting inside your body and starting to flush out the toxins. These guys are like the fuel. So that's the macro proteins. So like your good fats, your clean proteins. Now, again, it's all plant-based, so you're not going to find any crap, you know, like animal products or fillers or anything else like that. It's all plants. And really, you start to see some really awesome minerals brought into this. There's one in here, I'll read a couple out to you, but my favorite's niacin. And I'm not sure if many of you guys know about that, but it's actually a natural antidepressant. And for me, I'll share my story a little bit later, but that was what changed the game for these products for me. So these little powders, they have so much in them that you probably would never fit inside your trolley. Like we have broccoli sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, pea protein, radish sprouts, amaranth, millet, spirulina, pumpkin seeds, pomegranate powder, yucca powder, mushroom powder, the niacin and the thiamine, the few little things in there that really we need inside our body, but our diets don't allow us to get. So we have the vanilla flavored and the chocolate flavored. My kids have the chocolate flavored every morning with a little bit of coconut milk or almond milk, and they think it's chocolate milk. Like, it actually does taste really decent. And the vanilla ones I love for my smoothies. So I put in with frozen berries, bananas, things like that. We make smoothie bowls. Like, I don't know if you guys have them over there, but we, on the Gold Coast here, we have acai bowls, which are just pretty much taking control of, you know, cafes around the Gold Coast. But they're really cool to make, and I can make them easily with these. And my kids think it's ice cream. Like, if I blend it up so thick, it actually turns into an ice cream. And really, like, to think about, they're getting pumpkin seeds and, you know, broccoli sprouts and things like that in what they think is ice cream is just the bees for me. Like, I can't explain it, and I'm sure you guys will start to understand. I know Jess is going to share her product story, and hers is a bit similar to mine, because as soon as the kids start eating them, you feel fulfilled. You're like, sweet, I've done my job. Everybody's healthier. And then, I mean, you see benefits, like they sleep better, they poop better, they behave better. You know, that was one of my favorite ones, the behavior. We didn't have the after kindy meltdown where they'd come home and just be crazy. They'd have that more even kind of leveled feel because they weren't relying on sugary stuff to keep their energy alive. So for me, pretty much, like I said, I came into them 12 months ago, and I was a massive skeptic because I'm a little bit of a hippie at heart. My mum grew up with a type of autoimmune condition which is quite similar to cancer. So her body fights itself internally. So growing up, we were free of chemicals. She'd juice every day. She really understood the power of nutrition in order to aid that, because none of the medical fields were doing it for her. So I kind of grew from that mentality. When I seen these advertised on the internet, I just seen the canister and I didn't look any further, which was silly of me, but everybody does it. Everybody does it. Everybody judges. So I like to do these to show that there is a little bit more behind the scenes. So I gave it a shot because I was actually working 2 jobs. I owned a family daycare during the day, and then I owned a dance studio at night. So I had just given birth also, so I had about a 3-month-old, and my husband was really, really ill, so he couldn't work. So I was going between jobs, trying to look after the 2 children at the time and trying to keep him on his feet as well. So it was a really crappy stage in life for me, which I'm sure some of you guys can resonate with. I think we all have them. But it was to the point where I was so burnt out and pretty much fried and that I needed something. I was depressed. I was anxious. I wasn't sleeping. I was waking up in the morning feeling like I couldn't literally go outside. If anybody's ever suffered anxiety, you'll understand what I mean, because I didn't have anything in me to really push me forward. When I understood what was in these, I caught up with a girlfriend from school, literally by chance. She was doing it, and she told me it was natural. So I thought I'd give it a go because I knew my next step was having to go to the doctors and be on antidepressants in order to be able to get on with my life, which was something I didn't really want to do. So anyway, within 2 days, literally, it sounds crazy, but my energy started to rise. For anybody who's been depressed or has had anxiety, you'll understand that quite often you want to just stay inside your box. You don't want to do anything. You'd be happy to sit and veg out because that's an easy target. But for me, I actually started to want to do things. Like, I wanted to go out and spend more time with my kids. I wanted to get up and clean the house, which was massive. I wanted to go out, and actually meet my friends for coffee and start to do things. And then within 2 weeks, I introduced the shakes. I was still feeling a bit shitty and I wasn't quite sleeping as good as I should. So I introduced the shakes once Lauren, my franchisee at that time, told me that they had niacin in them, which would be awesome for my depression. I cannot thank them enough. Like, in the 12 months, the transformation within my health and from that of which I've been able to help other people, is amazing. But I mean, I'm not going to go on too much about that. You guys feel free to find me on Facebook. You can follow my journey. You can flick back and see what I was like 12 months ago to what I am now. And the only thing I changed was this, you know, so it's been fantastic for me. Jess, I would love to hear your story, darling, because I can talk all day, but it's really important to hear other stories. So I'm going to unmute you and tell me about what you've noticed.
Me? Yeah. You're up.
You're up.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Well, I had been looking into a lot of food stuff for my son. He's got ADHD, and it was a bit of a question on myself if I was going to medicate him or not. We did, because after looking into the diet, he won't eat most of the food that is required of that. At the same time, I was having issues with my cycles. Sounds a bit strange, but for 2 weeks out of the month, I was flat as a pancake and didn't want to do anything. No energy, couldn't be bothered talking to people. Just bleh. I started taking the premium package 2 weeks ago, and I've got so much more energy. It's ridiculous. It's an amazing product. My kids are on the chews. Mr. ADHD won't touch them, unfortunately, but I can break the capsules up and hide them in a yogurt pretty efficiently. It's all just coming together, and the way that you don't crave the junk like you do before is just bizarre. It's all really an amazing thing. That's me.
Thanks, darling. It is amazing, isn't it? And I don't think you can explain to people, like, my diet beforehand used to consist of, I'd finish daycare and then I'd probably have like 40 minutes to travel to my studio and have something to eat, because I wouldn't get out of there till 10 o'clock. So it always was Macca's, or, you know, somewhere along the way that I would just eat because my body needed food. Like, I wasn't even thinking of nutrients or anything. But it was amazing how as soon as I started on this program, I stopped wanting to eat that shit. Like, I literally, even the thought now, like, we went out today and my hubby had Macca's for lunch and I had to walk somewhere to get a sandwich, because the thought of just putting that in my body, I was like, ugh. Like, it's funny how it changes your whole body and your whole reaction to food. And because of that, we actually have a really cool health food program behind it that people get free with the capsules, that starts to teach them how to cook better. Like, what things to eliminate from the kitchen, some recipes to use, some family-friendly ones, because we all know kids are the hardest ones to please when you're trying to fix your lifestyle like that. So it's really cool that it goes more in depth than just, here, have some capsules and that's it. Like, there's a whole a life lesson around it, which I really enjoy. So thank you, darling. I know your product days is really only early, but I like that you've started to notice it already, the energy. And like, I seen your post the other day with no coffee. You haven't been having any coffee. So that's really cool.
Sorry, I'm going to pop up. Hang on. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Coffee's gone, sort of.
Yeah. It's cool, isn't it? Because I think you just don't need, you know, like, coffee was always a crutch because you felt shitty. That, for what I know, for me. But like, because your energy stays so even, it's really quite, yeah, it's just unnecessary. So you don't really find yourself grabbing for it. But anyway, so that's Jess's story. And thank you for sharing, darling. I'm excited to kind of see what happens for you. Because if you think that's 2 weeks, add a month, add 6 months, add 12 months to where I am, and you'll be so surprised. Like, your skin clears, your hair grows, your nails start to grow like crazy. It's just all these different little things that when your body starts working optimally, you start to notice. So it's really cool. Now, because the product is really cool, I wanted to actually start to get my parents on there. Obviously, because I told you about my mum, she has a really chronic illness, so I wanted to get her on it. My dad also suffers depression like me, so I wanted to kind of spread it around. And when I got to Lauren and I said, you know, I need to order some more, she said, do you know there's a mission behind it? Like, this is what I do. I want to go and help people get better and feel better and show them that there's a different way to be able to fulfill your healthy diet. So she talked to me about the business, which really made sense for me. And it wasn't until I actually got involved and started falling deeper down that tunnel that I realized how awesome it was. So I just want to highlight a few of those things for you guys tonight, in case you're thinking of that, or in case you're worried about what your friend's gotten into, because some people will be. I was for certain. But, you know, I want to kind of break a few of that up and just show you guys how simple it is, but how amazing it can be, how life-changing it can really be to take back your life and to start working on your own hours. So one of the first things I was frightened of, Jess is going to speak about, not you, Jess Smith, I promise. I won't put you into that. But my other beautiful friend, Jessie, who's been in the business for a little while now, she's going to talk to you guys about the pyramid scam, because that's what I thought it was. So Jess, it's all yours.
Thanks, guys. Hi, so I'll just quickly tell you a little bit about my story. I'm coming up to nearly a year on Juice Plus. I think, at the end of March of last year I signed up. So I've been on the product, for nearly a year. I was pregnant at the time with my third baby. And at the time, I'm a chef by trade. So at the time, I really didn't want to go back to work once I'd had Bubs. So this kind of came into my lap at the right time, because I didn't realise I was actually looking for something. But once I got invited by Katrina to a launch, I loved the concept of being able to work from home and to actually do something new. I've never done this before in my life. So it was nice to, try something new, and to know that I didn't have to go back to work, because I've got a nearly 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 6-month-old now. So life has been pretty good. I can make this business fit into life around the kids. Like, I just managed to get baby down for a sleep, so I could jump online and connect with you guys in New Zealand. So it's been really great. So as I said, I've been nearly a year in this business, and there's no turning back. I haven't even thought about going back to work. I don't want to go back to work. So this is my life now, hanging out with my babies and talking to you guys and helping you build your business and just connecting with people, in New Zealand and around the world. So that's just a little bit about me. And if I'm not your friend already on Facebook, send me a message, and we'll connect, and we just help each other on everyone's journey. So as Katrina was saying, I'm sharing the pyramid tonight. You can see my little board. Oh, maybe my whiteboard would work. My kids find my pens, and then when I go to use them, they don't work.
Story of my life.
Yeah. As you know, pyramid schemes are illegal. I think back in the 70s they were made illegal. So people, when you talk to them about this business, they go, is it a pyramid scheme? And no, it's not. We all know, for me, I'm a chef by trade. I started at the bottom as a kitchen hand. And you get paid, I think I was on $8 or $9 an hour. So it's not very much. And then I worked my way up to a commis chef, and then demi chef, and then I got to sous chef, head chef, executive chef, and then you've got who's the CEO, depending on who you work with. There's the guys up the top. They're the ones who make all the money. So as I was saying, I made it up to sous chef. So this is when I was back working in New Zealand. I think I got up to $24 an hour, which is crap money for long hours. So, you're doing 40 plus hours for $24 an hour. So that's why I love doing this business, because you get paid more than $24 an hour. So that is a pyramid scheme. What I love about our business is that everyone is on the same page. We all start it down here as a VF. Doesn't matter who you are. You can be a mum, you can be a doctor, you can be a nurse, you can be a teacher. We all start here. It's all your own business. And what the beauty about this business is, you can't succeed if you don't help people and teach people how to succeed in this business. So there's 7 pinnacle positions in our business. The first one is DVF. I'll just quickly go through these, because I won't talk about the money, because Katrina will do that later. But you work your way up to N. So you've got 7 positions that you can get to in this business. It doesn't matter how long you take to get to this business. It's your own business, so You could take 1 year, you could take one month to like get to here, but we try and do it within 10 days. And then the next one, you do that within 60 days. But as I say, it's your own business, so everyone does it at your own pace. You fit it into how it works around your lifestyle and around what's happening in your life.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's pretty easy. It's pretty cool that we can, we're all on the same wavelength. You're your own boss. You don't have to answer to anyone. Like Katrina's here to help you. I'm here to help you every step of the way. Yeah. And what we talk about in our business is UTR. You use the product. We always say be a product of the product. You can't talk to people about the product unless you're on the product. So that's the next thing. Talk about the product. And then once you've been on it a little while, you start to share your results. So whether that's on Facebook or whether you use Instagram or whether it's just going to talk to your local barista down at the cafe, everyone's looking for something. And unless you reach out and start making connections with people, this is how we build our business, just by talking to people. You've got to go out and talk to people and share your results. Like for me personally, when I was pregnant, I used to swell up like a whale. Like my swelling was really bad. So this is probably because I've had 3 babies now. This is the first pregnancy where I didn't swell up. My feet weren't swollen and it was sort of moved. So it was really nice to have a good pregnancy where I didn't have to worry about swelling, because it's nothing worse than swelling up like a balloon, because you already feel like you're a whale anyway carrying a baby. But it was nice to know that I didn't have to worry about the swelling. And my son, who is asthmatic, he didn't have to use his inhaler as much last year, and we didn't have to do a hospital run, because we always have to do that at least once a year. So now that he's been on the chews, we haven't had to use his inhaler as much, and we haven't had to do the hospital run. So that's just a little bit about the pyramid. And yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, love. Thank you. Yeah, exactly like Jessie said. Like, dance studio that I used to own, you know how you've got that pyramid? Like I was at the top, lucky I was up there. But like you find people, they have to step over people in order to reach the higher positions. And it gets quite exhausting. Like it becomes, does anybody have a hostile situation at their work? Like where there's gossiping or bitching or, some kind of negative feedback within the industry. In ours, it's literally everybody is their own person. So, there's no stepping over one another. There's no really kind of bumping for positions because they're unlimited. We can have as many CEOs sitting at the top because it's your own business. Okay, you're not competing with anybody, but there's so many people there ready to help you raise up. So it's really exciting. It's a much better positive environment. So when you talk as traditional business and our business, if there's one that's going to be the pyramid scam, it would totally be traditional business, because there's someone sitting up the top telling you what to do. They're owning your hours. They're paying you $1 figure for your time. And it's really quite limiting. So to me, that is the pyramid scam, whereas ours is totally different. And it blew my mind once I got inside and started to realize that. So the other thing that we kind of worry about in this business is that we don't know enough people. So Shannon's been in the business probably about 8 months now. I'm going to jump on over to her and hear about how she feels with that.
Hi guys, I'm Shannon. Like what Kat said, I think a lot of us, or even just looking in the business, we think we can't do that. I don't know a lot of people. I'm not outgoing enough to communicate with other people about this business. And so I just wanted to say that's not at all how we roll, okay? And I'm going to explain that a little bit. Okay, so hopefully you can see I've got a good light here. Okay, so if I'm talking me and how I came into this business, I'm the circle, this is me, okay? So I start off on my own, just me, okay? And what I do is that I'm obviously, like Jess said, a product of the product. So I start taking the product and I started noticing the changes almost straight away, like a lot of these other lovely ladies have. Energy, skin, everything was just amazing. And being a mum, it's necessary to have that extra energy, otherwise you just flake and then, Okay, so obviously, being a product of the product, I didn't go out per se and try and find all these customers and feel stressed and like I was trying to sell something. It was more about being the product of the product, sharing my story and how it made me feel. And I had people coming to me like, what are you doing? You know, you look really good. What's this you're doing, blah, blah, blah. And in turn, that creates your customer base. And all you're doing is going out and helping other people feel as good as what you are. Okay, so it starts off simple like this, okay? And then I might try and think of someone who needs this business just as much as I do. Okay, so I've got a big why in terms of I want to be able to stay home with my children. I don't want to have to get up and go to work every day. I don't want my husband to have to be working a 70-hour week every week. So that was my big why, and I wanted to find other people that I could help do the same thing. They may have different whys, but the big enough reason to want to earn some extra money. Okay, so I may find my friend Jess. Okay, so I take her under my wing. I teach her to do the same thing. So she uses the product, gets her customer base. She also goes out and finds another 2 people. Okay, we'll say Sam and Jack. So she goes out and finds another 2 people. Hopefully you can see that, that's better. And so forth, okay? So then I find another couple of people who I really think this is going to benefit. And I take them on board, and then they find another couple of people. And you can see how this is quickly. I've only spoken to a couple of people, and it quickly spirals and turns into this amazing business. You don't need to know 1,000 people to make this an amazing business. You just need to have the passion. You just need to have the drive, and share your story. It's all about sharing your experiences and what, and helping other people do the same, feel the same, and be successful. So yeah, that's kind of how it all rolls. Is that good, Kat? Have I explained that?
Darling. Yeah, you explained that really good. You explained it well. Thank you, darling. Might
Awesome.
I add that I just kind of sprung it on Jess and Shannon that they were doing these parts. So they're feeling a little probably worried that they're not doing it right. But you guys are doing it awesome. You're doing a wonderful job. Yeah, so basically, like Shannon said, it just popcorns out. It's what we call the popcorn effect. So literally, you introduce it to 1 or 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 people that you can think of. If they then go and introduce it to 1, 2, 3 or 4, 5 people, you all of a sudden have this massive business. So it starts with you, it popcorns out and goes quite crazy. So I'm living proof of that because, like I said, literally I just wanted to start doing it with my mum and dad because they were the 2 people I really wanted to get on the product. I used to do daycare, so I used to look after Jessie's boy. And when she would drop off her son Jax to my kindy, she'd say to me, what are you doing? You know, you're looking great, your energy's cool, your skin's clearer. Like, she'd start to talk to me about it. And I said, I'm taking this product. If it all goes well, I'll let you know because I'm looking into becoming a distributor. As soon as I said that, Jess was like, well, I need something for my energy, so let me know. So Jess was one of my first teammates that happened completely just by chance, by that happening. Jess now has a team of about 25, just similarly by the same thing. Okay, so the leg just popcorns out. And now I have quite a few other people that have done the same. So sitting in that 12 months later, I have a team approximately 200 people deep. So it just goes to show, out of them, I knew 3. Okay, so you don't need to know lots of people. This business is not about that. It's not about poaching your friends and family, which so many of them are. It's literally just about seeing who resonates with it and who comes towards you to ask questions. Okay, so enough of that kind of stuff. If you guys have any other questions, if there's something else that kind of worries you about knowing more, feel free to ask because I think we all feel the same way at the start. We all worry. We're all uncertain. Oh, I was going to say I had a pen here. Here it is. It's hiding. So ask because we're very transparent because most of the time we probably thought the same way as you. But the one thing that I really like talking about in this business is the money that you can make. This used to scare me a little bit at the start because I had negative connotations around money. I was I was in a really shitty financial spot, to be honest. I had no money. I was stressed. Bills caused more stress and they kept coming. So I was in a very negative situation regarding money. Coming into this business, I thought that if people were making lots of money, the product must you know, there's got to be some kind of scam happening. But what I realized was that this company, Juice Plus, has been around for 30 years. Okay, so that's 30 years that they have been around, and they haven't once paid any marketing, any advertising, any stocking. You know, they haven't paid a celebrity to endorse the product. It's literally they just rely on customers to share their results with others. So they save millions upon millions of dollars every single month by cutting these costs. Now, what they do with this money is they give it to us for referring people. Okay, so it's really smart. This company keeps so much of their funds that they're making, and they deliver it back to the people who are recommending the product. So let me share a little bit about just how much money you can make in a business like this by helping other people feel great. Okay, so like Jessie said, we use the UTR method. So we all use the product, we love the product, we talk about it, and we share our results. Doing that, we definitely don't spam, because that gets nowhere, okay? We just put the right stuff out there. We be products of the product, and people will come to us because there's so many people out there who are looking for a better way of health or a better way to make money. When we come into this business, we get paid 3 ways. So we get paid a retail profit, we get paid a commission, and then we get paid bonuses as well. So when I explain these, just remember that it's only 1/3 of the way we get paid. So retail product, we literally love the product, and we connect other people who are going to love the product as well. So when I say I get an order, the Juice Plus puts money in my bank account for doing so. So, you know, like when you go to a good cafe and you take a photo of the food or something and you upload it, you're advertising for that company, but you're not getting paid for it. Okay, simply we're sharing what we love, and if people want to come and try that, we get paid for helping them advertise. Commission, we get paid that along the structure. I'll explain that a little bit later, but first I'm going to talk about bonuses. Because as a field of predominantly women, we quite often put ourselves last. We put our partners, you know, our children, our families, things like that first in a nurturing kind of way. So our bonuses are fun money. We've got a little bit of a line in the team where you have to spend a portion of it on yourself. So when we come in, we hit DVF within the first 10 days and we get a $100 bonus, okay? Then we move on to SDVF. Now this is generally within the first 40 days and we get another $400 bonus. Because there's no staff in this business, it's literally a teaching business, so there's always someone above you wanting to help you do well. When you hit the bonus, they also get paid a bonus for helping you achieve it. So they get $400 as well. Then we move on to SC, which is a $600 bonus and a $600 if you help somebody get there. Then we move on to SSC, which is $1,200. $1,200 for the person who helps you get there. QNMD, which is $1,500, and $1,500 for the person who helps you. And then we move on to NMD, which is $3,000. And the person who taught you no longer needs a bonus, because when you're sitting at NMD, you're on roughly 100K per annum of residual income. So when I talk about residual income, that's where I'm going to explain this second part, okay? So this is just fun money. It doesn't take you long to move through it either. Like, it's not a business that you're going to take 5 years to see any kind of results from. I've been doing it 12 months and I'm just about to hit NMD. Okay, so if you want it, if you've got a reason to push for money, to push for your financial situation to get better, this is the perfect avenue to do so. Now, I want to explain that residual income because it's a little bit of a myth and you might hear about people talk about residual income. I want to show you just how it happens in this business. So residual income means, right, that you're getting paid regardless of what you're doing. So you can go on holidays, you can do whatever you like. There's still money coming in from this business, and that's the really cool thing because you've put in the foundation of the work, you've built something, and you will continue to get paid because you've done that. So we start off with 3 clubs. So that means you introduce 3 people and you teach them how to do the business really well. If you're running a 3-club business, you're getting around 1.5 per month. So $1,500 per month of residual income. Now remember, that's just 1/3. If you move on to an 8-club, you're getting about 2 to 3 grand a month. Move on to 12 Club. So you teach 12 people how to do the business really well. You get a $4,000 paycheck every month. So that's $1,000 a week for teaching 12 people how to do this business very well. Move on to 24 Club. Okay, and you're looking at about a $6,000 to $8,000 paycheck per month. Then we move on to what we call 39 Club, which is about a $10,000 check. Okay, so $10,000 per month. Then we move on to 50 Club, which is about a 15, and we move on to 100 Club, which is about a 25. Okay, so you can see that as that popcorn effect happens, it happens with or without you. So if you have the ability to help people and to love on them and to really come from a place of love, because that's what people need, that's what they're lacking in most other avenues of their life, you will find that this grows really quickly. Your income is there and you're feeling really fulfilled because you're doing it. So my story, like I said, I was really financially strapped. I was working those 2 jobs. My husband wasn't working, so it was just a 1-income family. Pretty much within 5 months of doing this business, I was able to give up both jobs because I was earning roughly about $5,000 a month. And I decided to go take my family to live in Bali. That's always been a dream of mine, and I knew my eldest started school this year, and it wasn't going to happen as soon as she started school, but I'd always wanted to live in Bali, and I could never take my work with me. If I left, my businesses fell apart. So when I started this, that's what I was able to do. I lived there for a couple of months, and I came back here, and since then the business has just gone crazy. So I'm at a stage now where I do this full time. I can drop my children to school. I can pick them up. I work when they're asleep. I can schedule calls and things like that around them. It's just an amazing ability. There's nothing taking my time away from me now. My days are mine. I can choose when I want to work, and I get paid as a reflection of that. So it's really quite a beautiful opportunity. If there's things in your life you want to change, talk to these ladies who invited you here today. If you know people in your life, go and talk to them. It's something that needs to be talked about because people are working and they're unhappy. So I'm going to jump on over now. I'd love to talk to Louise. Would you like to share for me, darling? Because Louise has been doing the business just a few months now. So I know she's got a cute little story to share because she is so passionate about what she's doing. So go for it, darling.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name's Louise. So as Katrina said, I've only been doing this business now for 2 months. And for that time too, is how long I've been on the product for. So where I was before Juice Plus, basically I was, just doing my thing. I was working, taking care of the kids, the mundane kind of like routine stuff. Last year, I guess me and my family had a little bit of a rough ride. My husband and I decided to separate at the beginning of the year, which kind of meant that our family, I guess, broke up a little bit. And so, we were dealing with that. So it got me to thinking more about what I really wanted to achieve over this time and sort of dreams and stuff that I had. And at that time too, before Juice Plus, I guess, looking at my health, I was tired a lot. I did feel quite stressed, and quite often last year a lot, I did feel anxious as well. So, my health, I guess, it was okay, but it wasn't at its best. And I guess, that's where I was at before doing Juice Plus. So since taking the product, like everybody else, I was skeptical too at the beginning. And I thought, I wasn't very confident. I didn't think, I can't do this kind of thing, and, I don't know if this product does actually do what it says it does. But then I thought about it too, and I thought it was a good thing to be skeptical because it helped me to research the product a little bit more and find out a bit more about it and find out that it actually was really good, how natural it was, and that it wasn't synthetic. And that sort of then started to resonate a lot more with me. And so since starting the product, I've noticed that again, like everybody else, I don't have those coffee cravings. I was finding that because I work 40 hours a week, I'm a childcare worker. So normally about like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd be hitting that kind of like brick wall where I'm like, gosh, I need a break. I need a coffee. I don't feel that anymore. I can kind of get through my days a lot better. I find I've got a lot more energy than I did have before, especially sort of getting the boys off to school in the morning, going to work, coming home and sorting them out. I've got the energy to be able to do all of that. I've noticed too, my skin's looking a lot better, and even my hormones have balanced out. So I feel it's a lot easier to cope with situations. I'm not feeling so stressed and anxious, I guess, as I had been feeling a year ago from now. What I'm excited for in regards to the future is I love how this business is a way that, I see it as a way of gaining back my mum time, really, that I am able to possibly cut down my hours at work and potentially do this full time, or even if it's just in the meantime dropping a day at work because I'm earning enough to be able to do that. It means that I can not have to worry about sending my kids to after school care. I can actually go to school and pick them up, and we can actually spend time together after school. And it also means, it got me thinking too in regards to like school holidays. It would be awesome to not have to worry about who's going to look after them, which holidays, putting them into programs and things like that, that I can spend time with them. We can go away, we can do time together, because time together, I guess, is the most important thing. And time is really precious, and time is something you can't get back. And I guess something that I have learned is nobody knows what's going to happen in life. I mean, everybody has dreams and plans and has a way that they want their life to go, and nobody, I guess, knows what's around the corner. So, I'm starting to see, let's live and enjoy this life the best way that we can. And I'm finding that this business is a way that helps people to do that. And the method of this business is so simple, and it shows you that there's more to life than just working to live. You can actually live your dreams. And it's also creating people to be a lot more healthier along the way. So I know that I've made a better health choice for me and my kids. I'm on the premium pack, and I know my boys are on the choose. And just knowing that I'm helping to create a healthier lifestyle for us too, that's just awesome. So I guess for anybody there that's listening, take those first steps. I know it can be really hard, and I know that it can be really scary, but what have you got to lose? It's probably like one of the best decisions, I guess, that people are making. So thanks for listening and jumping on.
That's beautiful, love. Lovely. I love exactly what you said, because that was me. I think there's so much more magical things out there for us, and we spend 40 to 80 hours a week working for someone else. Does anybody else think that feels like a little bit of bullshit? Like, is anybody else over it? Because, I was working for myself, but I never had time. I never had freedom. This is ridiculous. The things I forgot to mention, I've also been able to retire my husband now. So he works with the business with me. I call him my assistant, because he looks after the kids, and he helps with my phone calls and cleans my house, does all those great things that, and he gets time now. He can drop his daughters to school, which was something he never did because he used to work away as a scaffolder. So it's just, I don't know. I can't explain it enough. It does, like Louise says, it brings dreams back, and it's really skeptical, but you'll jump into business and you'll start to see thousands of people that it's done it for. And you can't deny that. You can't take away their stories, because you can see that it's living proof it actually happens. So if you're sick of something in your life, or even if you just are ready to try something new, this is definitely something that you should look at. But please don't feel obliged. It's not for everybody. And we appreciate that, because we know that there's so many different types of people in the world. But if it intrigues you, definitely start to ask those questions, because you want to give it either an excited yes or a definite no. You don't want to sit on the fence like I did for so long. And then if it's not for you, that's awesome. But just respect your friend's journey. And if you can see anybody else who's along, struggling, you might have a sister that doesn't want to go back to work, or, you might have a friend that you think would be great at it. pass them along, okay? Because it's a word of mouth business, and that's how we survive. So thank you so much, everybody, for jumping on. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the beautiful girls who shared. Thanks to Jess and Louise for launching. I'm so proud of you girls. You killed it. Yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to stay on the line and ask them. If not, shoot them to the person who invited you, or either feel free to add me on Facebook. But have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time to jump